Hello Internet, so nice to see you. Today we talk about 7th chords on guitar, and if you've never seen 7th chords before, this video is for you. And if you do have seen 7th chord before, well, you never know, you can learn something new. This video is part of my series Back to the Basic to help people who are starting with music theory or that are confused about it. So let's talk about 7th chords. First we're gonna see what notes are in those chords, and then we're gonna see how to play them on the guitar. And we need to start from our major triads and our minor triads. If you do not know how to build a major or a minor triad, I suggest you watch my video on the super basic of music theory. You'll find the link on the top right corner of this video. So now let's write down our C major triad C, E, G and our C minor triad C, E flat, G. For both those triads, the root is C. And now we give the following definition. The note that is 1/2 step below the root, it's called the major 7th, and it's usually indicated with a triangle. In this case, the note is B, 1/2 step below C. The note 2/2 step or 1 whole step below the root, it's called the minor 7th, and it's usually indicated with just the number 7. So now we can create 4 different qualities of chords. We can have a major triad with a major 7th, a major triad with a minor 7th, a minor triad with a major 7th, and a minor triad with a minor 7th. And all those 4 are valid and legal 7th chords. Now let's see all of them one by one. The major triad with the major 7 contains the notes C, E, G, B. It's notated as C triangle, and you read it C major 7th. This chord usually sounds happy and content. The major triad with the minor 7th has the notes C, E, G, B flat. It's notated as C 7th, and you can read this simply as C 7th or C dominant 7. This chord tends to sound spicy. The minor triad with the major 7th has note C, E flat, G, B. It's indicated as C, M triangle, and you read this as C minor major 7th. The feeling given by this chord is usually a feeling of danger. Think of the last mystery movie you've seen. The minor chord with the minor 7 contains the notes C, E flat, G, B flat. It's indicated as M7, and you read this simply as C minor 7th. This chord tends to sound chill and relaxed. Now, of course, happy, spicy, danger, and chill are just my description of the chord. You can use a completely different word as long as it makes sense to you. In a moment, we're going to see also how to play those chords on the guitar. Now, one question you may have is why that extra note is called the 7th. Well, that's because if you try, for instance, to write the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, well then C is the first note, D the second, E the third, F the fourth, G the fifth, A the sixth, and B is the 7th note of the scale, and that's why we call that note the 7th. How do we play those chords on the guitar fretboard? Well, one solution is to memorize all the shapes, but there is an easier solution that allows you to write your own chords and make it a bit easier to memorize too. Let's make an example. Let's play a D major in first position. Remember now that the major 7, it's 1/2 step, meaning 1 fret below the root, and the minor 7, it's 2 frets below the root. So the first thing we see here is which one of those notes we just played are the root. Well, there is a D as the 4th string open, and another D is the 2nd string at the 3rd fret. We usually don't touch the lowest root, so we're not going to do anything with the root on the 4th string, but if we want a major 7, we can simply take the root on the 2nd string and move it down 1 fret, creating this chord, which is a D major 7. Again, first you had the standard D major. By taking one of its root and moving it down a fret, you have a D major 7. If instead we were to take this root down 2 frets, we would have a D dominant 7. We can do the same with minor. If we have a D minor, we move this root down a half step, we have a D minor major 7. We move this root down 2 frets, we have a D minor 7. These work with literally every chord you can play on your guitar fretboard. So here's another couple of examples. That's an A minor. You can find the root A here on the 5th string open or on the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. So if we move this root down 1 fret, you have an A minor, major 7. And if you move down 2 frets to the open string, you have an A minor 7th. Now sometimes you cannot simply move the root down this way. So let's take a C major chord and see what happens. Here's a C major chord. Now we have the C root on the 5th string, 3rd fret, and again we are not going to touch the lowest root of the chord. And we have another root on the 2nd string, 1st fret. So we can take this root down a half step down to the open string, and we have a C major 7. But what happens if we want to have a minor 7 to get the C dominant 7th? We can take it down more because we don't have enough space. We don't have a fret lower than the open string. So the idea is to play this resulting note, the B flat, on another string. So in this case, we're gonna play it this way. So we hit the minor 7th, the B flat, on the 3rd string, 3rd fret. And the more observant among you will notice that in the C7 chord as I played right now, we are missing a note, because I have a C note here, an E here, a B flat, a C and an E. I don't have the G note. Well, that's one of the tricks that we use on guitar. Since we don't have that many strings, we are not piano players, we cannot play 10 notes at a time very easily. Sometimes when we have a chord with too many notes, we just don't play the 5th of the chord. So in any 7th chord, major 7th, dominant 7, minor major 7th, minor 7th, you can not play the 5th of the chord and it will still sound good. Now, those are not the only possible 7th chords, and there is much more than you can do and you can say about 7th chords. If you want to know more about them, I suggest you have a look at my course Complete Chord Mastery, when we start from scratch and we learn how to play any possible kind of chords on the guitar, major, minor, diminished, augmented, 7th, extended, etc. And especially we learn how to use them in practice, how to create chord progression, how to play them on the fretboard, how to connect them together, how to find ways to make them sound better and better, and how to use them to harmonize melodies. So if you have a melody, what kind of chords you can put on them. You can find a link to Complete Chord Mastery on the top right of this video. If you like this video, smash on that like button and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have a friend who's interested in 7th chords, share with him or her this video. This is Tommaso Zilio, musictheoryforguitar.com. And until next time, enjoy.